I think it'd be really effective for him, and he could also provide a little bit of a security against draw concepts and stuff like that. So I think he's a good signing. He's not great. He probably is never going to be an All-Pro, but he could be a Pro Bowler here. He could anchor this and bring a level of professionalism to that position that really needs it. I think we would all agree they need to add another player still to that defensive tackle group before the draft. But nonetheless, he is a nice. He's just a pro, man. He's a really good pro, and I hope that production for him as he gets a few more snaps here in Cleveland leads to a bit of a Pro Bowl recognition thing for him.
Another guy that they signed who's kind of on that same deal where it's like, hey, we see some upside is Agbo Okoronkwo from Houston. He was also in L.A. What do you see from his game? What have you seen flash in his game that shows some potential? What concerns you about him?
He's got an interesting story, man. So he comes in out of Oklahoma, and to give you a frame of reference on a guy you feel like is a little younger than he was on that team Baker was when they played Georgia. So he came in that same year, a bit of a tweener. That's why he doesn't go until I think he was pick 150 or right around pick 150. He was a later pick, and again a bit of a tweener. Didn't know what he fit in. He goes to the Rams. Rams are a bit of a unique defense. I think we could all agree on that. They're an odd front team. So he comes in the first year. He has a knee injury, so he doesn't play at all in 2018. In his 2019 season, he starts the year on the PUP list, eventually gets a chance to crack into the lineup. 2020 has a bit more of a role, starts to increase a little bit, but deals with some nagging injuries. 21, he starts to take off, but if you recall in 21, the Rams had Leonard Floyd, and then they brought in Von Miller, right, for their Super Bowl run. So he never really got the opportunity to flourish, and I think that they wanted more out of him as an outside linebacker that he just wasn't able to give them in that situation. So he leaves L.A. As he's slowly getting better at understanding how to rush the passer, and he goes to Houston to play in Lovie Smith's cover 2 base. It's a 4-3 look, cover 2 base. It's unique, old-school stuff. And he really figures it out mid-season. You could see the light bulb come on as a 4-3 edge where he is like, okay, I got this inside swim move. I can win upfield with speed. So tackles are oversetting. I can hit him with a little double plan or a Euro move that he'll add to it. And he started to add, man, like he's put together a swim move on top of it, and he's getting so comfortable. I saw him add that ghost move, the Von Miller ghost move, which is a really unique way of like selling upfield and then acting like you're going to run that. If I'm rushing off the left tackle or the right side of the defense, you try to put your hand up in their chest and long arm them. Well, you do that, you flash it, the tackle's going to go to punch, and you just sort of dip. I'm doing a terrible job on camera of this. But you try to dip up under him. It's called a ghost move where you act like you're going to put your hands on him, but you don't. He was like showing refined pass rush stuff. And if you look at his stats week 7 through the end of the year, he was among the most effective on a snap-by-snap basis of getting pressure on the quarterback. And, like, again, I'm trying not to paint too crazy a picture here, but if he had 517 snaps last year and had 35 pressures, I think. If he gets 400 pass rush snaps, plays maybe 650, 700 total snaps, which is what Clowney played last year, he's a 45, 50 pressure guy. And from that many pressures, if things go in your direction, you can get upwards of 10 sacks. And I think he's got that ability. I really think he has hit his stride as a pass rusher where he feels so comfortable now. He knows the ways in which he can win pretty consistently. And that inside swim move that he has is so deadly that I think it's going to give some teams fits, and I think he's going to be really good here. And he's not as good against the run, but he can set the edge. He can hold it. He can anchor against teams trying to push the football laterally. He doesn't quite get back inside as quick as I would like, but he takes care of his job well, right? And that's the primary, right? We want people to be able to take care of their job and then disengage and get back inside or bump outside and make a tackle. He's not perfect at that, but I do think he's good enough rundown player that he can play. He's not going to be a liability out there in the run game. So I think he's a guy that they really think, as he's turning 28 this year, they signed him to a 3-year deal, and the Browns did the rare thing of giving him 2 option bonuses, which is something they don't do all that often. It gives them the ability to kick the tires on his cap hit. They did it in Myles Garrett's contract, but they don't do it very often. what it means more or less is if you pay attention to how the Browns structure contracts, most of the structuring they use is built around an early out. They're not giving him an early out in this contract. He's here for 3 years. He's going to play all 3 years in Cleveland, and that tells you what they think of him and where they think he's going as a football player. And I agree. I watched the tape. I'm like, good Lord. Like, I see everywhere this is going for him, how comfortable he's – the change from his early Rams years to that end of the year last year with the Texans – it's pretty easy for me to see the type of player he could be. And the fair question is, well, why would the Texans let him go, and why would he not sign for big money? Well, he hasn't played a ton of snaps yet. He hasn't proven he can play a ton of snaps. You're always risking that, right? Can he handle an increased workload? The Texans are in a rebuild. They don't want to spend money on certain positions yet. They're trying to figure out, are they going to draft? Who are they going to draft? You know, what are they going to surround him with? The Texans were still in, but they didn't want to keep paying past a certain point. And the Browns, I think, are saying, okay, we'll pay you a bit more because we believe you're going to this place. And I think for Okoronkwo, his thought process had to be, I feel like, you know, obviously feel like I'm going to have some stellar years here, but I want to lock up some money while I can, because you never know. You know, the NFL, you never know. I mean, a guy could get injured in one single training camp play. So you take what you can get while you can get it. But I really feel optimistic about where that young man is going, because the tape and like the stats that back up the tape that I was seeing from his Texans run there the last half of the year was just stellar stuff.
Well, I think with Okoronkwo, I think one of the things that he was thinking about in this free agency decision is like, what opportunity is going to be best for me too. So if it's equal money from Houston, where there's no Myles Garrett on the other side, and in Cleveland where there is Myles, because we know that by virtue of Myles just being Myles Garrett, wearing that 95 jersey, he's going to get phantom pressures just because the quarterback's thinking in the back of his head, Myles is coming. I'm going to have to flush to the other side. And he's probably going to get a couple easy cleanup sacks just because of that. That happens every year with somebody where they just get some easy cleanup sacks. It's hilarious that Clowney was like complaining about that. That was one of his complaints about the team. It's like, you benefited from your best season, like since JJ. But it was just a whole interesting situation there with Clowney. We'll see where he ends. Up next. But yeah, I think there's the needle's pointing up on him. It'd be interesting to see how high that needle goes. But it certainly is pointing up with him. Now, Juan Thornhill is another guy, young player, just out of his rookie deal. I was surprised that they were able to get him at the number that they were able to get him at. I mean, like, this is first run free agent guy, first team. Usually for $7 million for a safety, you're getting somebody who's on like their second or third, well, it's third team. You know, what do you think of the signing? What do you think of Juan Thornhill as a safety?
I get confused because I don't know what teams are craving. Like the Jesse Bates at $16 million and Juan Thornhill at $7 million. I've got to be honest, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I think that teams could be more interested, like more of the physicality that Bates brings, and Bates they might feel like has a bit more positional flex. But I mean, as far as playing in the back half, and what the Browns really need more than anything else is the ability to have a guy who can play split coverage and single high coverage, and he can do that. So, like, to me, what's interesting about him is those parts of the game are what he's best at. That's what he's done in KC, between playing with Tyrann Mathieu and playing with Justin Reed, two other good safeties. He's comfortable playing split. He's comfortable playing deep. Now, he doesn't have a ton of stop tackles. Those plays that constitute failures, usually close to the line of scrimmage, because he doesn't play up there. That's not what the Browns need. They have a guy in Grant Delpit that can do it. But if you watch Thornhill's tape, he can do it. He can walk down and play man coverage against a slot with relative success. He can play tight ends. He can come off the edge and blitz a little bit. He's not a very physical player, and his tackling is average. He doesn't hit hard. So, like, there's none of that thumper ability out of the back end for him. But he gets people to the ground for the most part. And, you know, what I think they're paying him for more than anything else is his ability to be rangy in the back half, play the football, make plays on the football. And I think he's pretty good at it, man. Like, I really do. So I think that the fit of Thornhill experience, athleticism. Go back and look at his relative athletic score. I mean, he had a 44-inch vertical jump, a 4.4 40. He is an explosive athlete. He's multiple years away from that ACL tear he had after his rookie year, so he's on track. He's getting better. I'm excited about him. I mean, I know people in KC it's a different level of football. Like they're spoiled. I just think they're spoiled. So they think it's going to be easy to replace him with Brian Cook, who I liked Brian Cook coming out of Cincinnati, but I think that, again, for what they needed here, the positional flex of being able to play him single high, split high, or at times roll him down if they want to have some deceptive stuff here, because you don't want to have Grant Delpit be the only guy who can play down. That's a part of Joe Wood's defense I didn't love, is if the Browns are moving to safety, it was more often than not Grant Delpit, and that gave quarterbacks the ability to decipher a lot of things. The Browns will want to do, if they go single high or middle field close coverage, they'll want to be able to roll either Grant or Juan down and do some different things. And I think Juan can do all of those things. I think he's a great fit. And if he doesn't turn out to be as good as we hope, I still think the price point is so budget friendly that it still made a ton of sense for them. And like I said, you want to talk about John Johnson doing the opposite of what he's good at when he was in Cleveland, right? John is not a gifted runner. He's a 4.6 40 guy, and that showed in his ability to play deep coverage and cover ground. He's more of a downhill player, both in the post and pre-snap alignment stuff, and he'll maybe get – the ironic thing is John Johnson, for what he's probably going to get, which is pennies because he's still a free agent, would be the perfect third safety to have. But Thornhill is really good at the stuff that you needed Johnson to be good at, rangy, understands route concepts, development, and has a feel for jumping them, plays the catch point in football really well without having penalties thrown on him. I think it's a great fit, Quincy. I really do, man. And I hope he's only 27 and a half-ish right now, so he's still on the younger end of the prime of his career here. And I think he's the table's set to be a nice contributor to this defense. Again, a guy, two-time Super Bowl champion. I don't think he has a Pro Bowl. That he has Pro Bowl potential if he plays well in a defense that should be better. But again, he's not an elite guy. But he's just a couple little categories off from being an elite guy. And he's elite at what the Browns need, in my opinion, as he had the third highest pass breakup percentage among all safeties last year. They need that element, and he brings that. So, again, a wealth of experience in big games that matter, and that stuff should all help, man.
Definitely. All right, so the last thing I want to ask you is there is a term called follow the money. And I think with NFL teams, that's the most important thing because they'll say anything in the press conference, but the money is where the money is. That's what's the most important part of it. What does this free agency, their moves, their aggression in certain areas tell you about what the Browns want to look different on this team from 2022?
Well, they want to be better at the things they struggled with defensively, right? So they want to be better in the deep portions of coverage over the middle of the field. They struggled with that. Thornhill attacks it. They want somebody who's a bit more consistent than what they got from Clowney, right? At both phases. And I think particularly the pass rush phase, they went out and got it. They know they have to fix their run defense. They've taken a step forward. They still need to do more. Tomlinson does that. They attacked everything they needed defensively, and they did two things on offense we really like, right? They got a secondary tight end's a bit more athletic, a bit more of a pass catcher, and then obviously this trade for Elijah Moore is everything I think that wide receiver room really needs. So they're aggressive. They're telling us they think they can win the Super Bowl this year, and they should. They have the quarterback. They have everything in place to go win a Super Bowl. They have literally the things that you need to do it are there. They can draft still, and they can sign some budget free agents to improve depth. Like, everything is in the right place, and they're telling us we truly believe. And this is not just like, they're not just doing it passively. They're now doing it proactively. If you notice, they changed the whole building the Browns to an unleashed title because they said they're done building. They're going after it right now. Like, they're telling you publicly they think they're a Super Bowl contender. And there's a ton of talent here, and the goal should be Super Bowls. It should be Super Bowls. It should not be, maybe we'll sneak in the playoffs. Division titles and Super Bowls, and that's what they're chasing, and there is no excuse from any angle. Andrew Berry has said, you're not going to put an excuse on me. He's going out and attacking everything, and he's putting all the tools in place for Kevin Stefanski and Jim Schwartz and Bubba Ventronis. They've done a nice job with that Mike Ford signing, and the linebacker's name, who is escaping me right now, is another great special teams player for Bubba when he was with the Colts. they're doing some things to help that unit too. So I really see them attacking A, some guys the coaches want, and B, filling the holes that were blatantly obvious. So I don't think as a Browns fan you should feel anything other than really good about where they're at right now. And they could still get aggressive if there is a guy they really want in the mid 40s to mid to early 50s. They could go up and get a second-round player by packaging a couple picks. They have 8 picks still in this draft. They didn't lose any pick in that Moore trade. They just slid back. So, they can still get aggressive, go up, and still have, you give up 74 and 98 to go up to 48 to 52 area. You still have picks 111, 126, 120, 140, 142. So it's not like you're going from 98 to 111 is not that big a fall off. So they can use that pick to be aggressive to go get maybe an edge sitting there, or Adebawore Adam in Northwestern is sitting there around 50. Like, we need that. They could go get that guy if they wanted to.
Yeah, and I said this last year when I looked at the roster. I'll say it again this year. You don't want to look back as a Browns fan and think, man, if we had just been just a little bit more aggressive, right? Because I think the fan base is feeling that right now. It's probably Baltimore, right? They look at that 2019 team and that 2020 team, and they're like, man, if we had just been a little bit more aggressive and gotten that wide receiver here or gone after this player here, I feel like we would be in a better position than what they ended up being. The Browns are in an interesting position because they're talented enough that, like, this thing can kind of work out and they can get to the second round of playoffs very easily. I don't think that would be like a major accomplishment for this roster. But the goal here, I mean, like, when you have as many marquee players as they do, the goal should be the Super Bowl, and it's not a unfeasible goal, right? We're not talking about Charlie Fry and Braylon Edwards taking this team to the Super Bowl. We're talking about something very different here. So that's interesting to be in this place. Of course, a lot of this hinges on Deshaun. He is a $230 million man. That's what the money's for, is the responsibility to be able to take this team to the next level. But they're certainly doing what they can to put him in position to be successful, which is what he did not have in Houston, or at least on the field, and what they want him to have here in Cleveland. So that's just going to be something that's going to have to play itself out. We're going to be nervous until Deshaun has like 5 good games in a row. Like, that's just what it's going to be. Because we got to see it in our uniform. We got to see it. But thank you for previewing free agency with me, Jake. Make sure you check out Jake's stuff on the OBR. They also stream on Twitch. Have the website. Go to his Twitter. All of the links for him are up there. Jake, again, thank you for having for coming on. And Jake does occasionally have me on his podcast as well. So make sure you listen to it. I like to listen to it. Everybody else, have a great day. Have a better night.
Way to learn a city or learn a place is to go to a comedy show. I feel like I'd go on a date with you. I'm like, what's your job? And your answer would just be like, grinding, hustling, climbing a ladder, manufacturing.
No Cuban in the world ever been fat. It's been twisted. Day one. Day one, cuz you know what it is.
She was like, sir, this is disgusting. I saw a roach in my plate. Here's a coupon for next time.
I'm a workaholic. Googa. All right, guys, this is Miami.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors.
You know, speaking of keeping it real, and you have been a real one, because even as you're talking, you the same old Jody Breeze. I should have brought this up earlier. We mentioned Kerry Hilson and you putting her on your song early.
Mm-hmm.
You did the same thing for Jacquees, didn't you?
Yeah, I had, actually, Jacquees came to Block brought Jacquees around. Jacquees was around 15 years old, maybe 14. He had braces in his mouth still, but he was a real bright spirit, you know what I mean? He's always been talented, a singer or a star. He wanted to be a star. What he is today is what he always wanted to be. So at this time, they brought Jacquees to the studio. He would always just sing and dance like he wanted to be a star. So him and Block had something going on, and I don't know if that went left or whatever, but his mom, we had a conversation, and And Jacquees, I just told him, like, you know, this is something he really wanted to do. And this would be my first time actually grabbing someone and putting them up under my wing. So around the time he turned 15, and I just told him, I said, look, I'm gonna do this song with you. We did Deuces. It was a remake of Chris Brown Deuces at that time, which was like the #1 song out. And this little boy could sing at a young age. Like, he really could sing at a young age. He was going to Wesley. He was at Wesley Chapel. He was going to high school over there somewhere. And I just told him, I said, look, bro, this is what I'm gonna do for you. Because at this time, I got the women. I still got the women, but I'm low key though. But at this time, I really got women falling out and doing all this other shit. So I'm telling him, like, look, I'm finna give you a fan base that it doesn't matter what nobody say. I'm gonna give you some people that's gonna like you for you. They gonna like you for your talent. They gonna like you for what you bring to the table, and not who you signed to, and you know, like the industry of it. Because by this time, I'm doing my own thing. I'm dropping mixtape after mixtape. I'm on the road. I'm still doing my thing, but I've left the industry alone a little bit. So we did Deuces in it, and it did 1 million views like in a day. And this year you couldn't buy views. It did 1 million views on YouTube in a day. And that's when I knew he had it. So I kind of just molded him into like just being like, just staying solid, keep taking care of your family. You got a great mom. You got a great foundation over here. Like the man he is today, he love his family. They very family oriented. I love them too. Like they my own. But I always just told him, like, just to keep that energy. Because as long as you stay like that, then God gonna bless you over here. Like you got the talent, you know, and he'll tell you this. He'll tell you this himself. Like, I'm the one who told him that he was gonna be what he is today. I showed him how to be what he is today. You know, he put his sauce on it, but you know, I always wrote everything he did up till he was 18, 19 years old. He's on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's on all of my mixtapes that from probably like from 08 to 2016, 17. He's on all of them. I always wrote his lyrics. Shit, I just gave him the game. Like, he's the only person I can say I gave him the game, and he would admit to it. And that's why we had a relationship we had today, because we both understand what we did for each other. You see what I'm saying? And I would rather do that. Now, even like August Alsina. August Alsina is another one of them artists who came around, and I put a little sauce on him and try to give him the game a little bit and put him on a record or two so people can hear him before people actually heard him. Because a lot of people don't know my fan base is like, I have a fan base to where you can't do nothing about it. You know what I mean? And it's large as people think it is. So when you have this kind of fan base and you know who's gonna listen, you know how your fans are gonna react. It's not really you. Nobody can really do nothing about it. I already have established it. That's why I can come do interviews today and I can still talk my shit today and just do what I do, because I never really needed and wanted to need the industry. I wanted real people that understood talent and understood an individual who really cares and understand about life and everything, not just about music. So my fan base is kind of catered to that. Like, we had a fan base before y'all even knew who he was. He has 5-some million followers on Instagram right now. 2-3 of them millions been there. They been there.
It's crazy.
And that's why he's able to do what he's doing. It's before Baby, before the Fly situation, before all of that. Like, I had him showing him the ropes and getting him in the studio, making him sing, putting him on records, teaching him how to write his own songs, and, you know, just teaching him how to be like, stay yourself, bro. Like, don't let this change you. And I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm proud of him for what he became and what he's doing. But just know that's a touch of Jody Breeze right there. Like, that's what makes me stay relevant. Like, I'm always out here.
That's dope. That's real dope. Shout out to Jacquees.
For sure. Hey, we actually finna drop a video in about a few weeks. It's called Vanish. My project I'm about to put out is stupid dope. It's stupid dope. And yeah, we got some shit going on too as well. So yeah, I don't even fuck with rappers and shit like that and R&B niggas too much. So I do songs with people that I actually fuck with. So that's basically what I'm doing.
Okay, we're gonna touch on that. I want to come back to that. So I just want to bring people through your story a little bit more, and then we're gonna bring it up to date. Cool?
For sure.
Okay, Second album on Boys in the Hood.
Right.
It dropped. I want to say it dropped in 07.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, but it didn't fare as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't as well received as the first one. What do you think the difference was between the first one and when y'all dropped the second one?
Well, to be honest with you, I was done with it. I probably did 6 songs. I probably gave them 6 songs for the album. So I was really pretty done with the Boys in the Hood situation, you feel me? Because as much love and respect I got for Zoe, I didn't feel like Zoe was a part of Boys in the Hood. I would have rather did Boys in the Hood, which is me, Duke and Geek. You feel me? And just put it on out and just keep it like that. And I'm going to go ahead and do my thing. But it just was a situation that came along and it was a platform for Zoe to jump off of.
Yeah, I mean, Zoe's another dope one. I mean, he came out obviously with that Hood Nigga record.
Yeah.
And tore the streets down.
Yeah.
But you pretty much saying by the time that second album dropped, mentally you was out of it. You was gone.
Mentally, physically, all that shit. I wouldn't stand that shit. They know that. They know I wouldn't stand that shit. But it was like, it is what it is. Like, we can talk about it now because it's so long ago, but we've all had these conversations already anyway. So they already know, like, they knew how I was coming. I wasn't really standing like that at that point. Because I felt like it had already been watered down. You know what I mean?
So it's not so much that you lost the love of making music, because you said from the beginning of this interview, yo, I wasn't even a rapper like that. This ain't something I dreamed of ever being. Are you saying by the time that Boys in the Hood disbanded, did you lose the love of the music, or did you lose the love of just being in that group?
I never lost the love of music because I always recorded. I got like 16 mixtapes, bro. Like, that's like albums. And a lot of people don't know my mixtapes are not just other people's beats. I'm doing real producers and just and putting it out. And I always put it out on iTunes, so I always sold it. So my mixtapes was not for free for real. Like all my shit is on iTunes. So I was doing the independent thing before the independent literally started being independent. So, you know, mixtapes, when you just pass them out, I was never passing them out. I was trying to put them on. I was trying to, you know, get money off them. Yeah, off the rip. Because I was putting a lot into it.
David Benavidez versus Caleb Black. Saturday, live on pay-per-view.
I wouldn't say I lost the love of music. I just started seeing a lot of things for what it was, you know. And by this time, like my daughter, she's getting older. You feel what I'm saying? And I got like some of the worst baby mamas that you can find. Like,
how many kids you got?
I got 2. I got a 3-year-old right now that I'm going back and forth to court with right now for this crazy lady, man. These fucking people.
Yo, did I just hear you say I got the worst baby mamas you could find?
The worst, bro. Like, they the worst. They terrible, bro. They think they the so, and I'm not the only one, man. I'm not the only one with the worst baby mamas. But they so miserable, bro, and just mad. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like you fuck around and, you know, women always want to say we lost them. Bitch, you lost me, man. You ain't no fucking me losing you, man. I ain't losing no damn body, man. I'm a real man. I keep this shit the G way I am. Bitch, I'm a good nigga. I'm a cool nigga. I take care of whatever around me if I can. But, man, you cross me, that shit over with. I ain't got time for that shit. Now we have to go through these things about these babies, man, these kids and shit. And these kids be growing up. They be wanting their kids to grow up without a father. Just to go get another father who can't raise another man's child, man. Like, it's weird as hell. But it's the world we living in.
Yeah.
I ain't going for it. So all the other men and fathers out here, y'all keep letting these bitches play with y'all want to. I ain't playing no goddamn game by mine.
Yo, you know something? Bring it back to music for a second. I remember the Bad Boy
EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to chilly, but of course sold out GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Coming up, it's divisional round Saturday. We've got an AFC battle on tap between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. The first of 4 berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend of the NFL is underway. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Play 1 and Prescott to the air. And he knocks the ball away and it falls incomplete.
There is something to a game plan when trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try to throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And not much doing there, maybe a yard up to the 23.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Throwing, Prescott. And oh, that nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way you wanted to start this ball game as it brings up 4th down. Here's the Chiefs punter now. He'll kick it away after a 3 and out on the opening drive of the game. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Here's Watson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. So a second NFL interception for him, and he is looking to part here in year one.
And normally, partner, you talk about cornerbacks and safeties being the ball hawk type of guys, and they always will be because they'll get more opportunities. But this young man has potential to be a ball hawk from the linebacker position. I think that's why he was drafted as high as he was, and he'll stay on the field on most downs.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. They're there to make the tackle, Khalil Mack. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. Meanwhile, Dak's throw into the hands of McLaurin. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes where people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw is Prescott. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
I don't care how many times we see it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, a 16-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs are on the board first here in this division round matchup. A long way to go in this one. I'm sure that's not the only score we'll see today, but to jump out like that, very good.
Yeah, everyone wants to set the pace. You know, in a game like this, you want people chasing you. You don't want to be the team chasing them. That's exactly what they did.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage.
Oh my God.
Some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
Oh,
and they work this well field across the 45. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Watson on first down. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
But they certainly came out firing in this one, and while that one was incomplete, I can't imagine that'll be the last shot that they take in this game.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now a handoff inside. It's Peyton. And only a couple there as he'll take this up to the 47.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. He wants it all for the end zone.
God damn, he got around.
Incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but he falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And the Jaguars send out their punter. Back to return it, Christian McCaffrey. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. And just a net of 31 here. 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Prescott, nowhere to go.
Come on, that was a throw.
And the Jags grab it. Set up in a golden position here right around the 10-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes if they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback. They've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. A man who grew up right here in Kansas City at Center High School. It's Rashad White. And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Slot man moves right. Back to throw, Watson. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
But they've been fighting and scratching and clawing for that first sack in the game, and it turns out to be a big one. Not just a short one right there behind the line. First one they get, 10-plus yards, and the guy has the legs to escape most of these.
The slot man in motion right. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, a pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least, it'll be 4th down. hits the right upright but goes in anyway. Oh, friendly bounce there that could have gone either way easily, but he gets it to go. And they are on the board but still trailing. It's 7-3. The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. And here comes a return from a few steps into the... And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And the Jags grab it. And he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line.
And in our meeting with the special teams coordinator, we asked him, what's your philosophy on bringing the ball out? Do you give him a red light? Do you keep him in? Green light, let him go? Let's see if he changes from green light to red light after that costly error.
Yeah, you know what I remember from that meeting? He brought donuts.
I like him.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
but he's not happy right now.
No, don't tell everyone how many I have.
And the slot man goes in motion left. On 1st and 10, Watson. And he'll just get rid of it.
Oh, that's good decision-making right there. Understood down and distance. Knew it wasn't 3rd down, and he still had another opportunity to earn the 1st down. Good job throwing it away and avoiding an interception.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll send the tight end in motion left. Now a give. Here's Peyton running left. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing. Because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you. I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the 1st down.
And as we say often, it shows confidence in your offensive line. Peyton. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets them back now for 2nd down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. They'll try the air now with Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it. And the Chiefs are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw some away on that snap. And look, let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away and could cost them a ball game?
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. He's already put it on the ground once in this 1st half. There, no gain, just struggling to get going.
Yeah, and what he needs right now, a dose of confidence, which means his guys have to chop a big one for him, give him a chance to run a little bit, and gain some of that confidence back. He didn't get it on that carry.
Prescott now on 2nd down. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. A gain of 28 yards there and give them a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz.
Come on. What the fuck was that?
And the Jags are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Here's Peyton up the middle. And not much room to speak of. He'll get about 3 up to the 41. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. Now on 3rd down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. Watson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Julian Blackmon. And the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Up the gut, McCaffrey. And they go backwards here. Losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
On 2nd and 11 now. Prescott. That's into a crowd and intercepted. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. But Charles, I know you appreciate seeing this great defense, especially with the heightened intensity of the postseason. These two defenses, they have risen to the occasion to force back-to-back interceptions.
You know me well, Brandon. I always stand with my fellow defenders. And I love watching them make plays, and you nailed it. It's playoff time. This is when it matters most.
A very solid gain of 27.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion. From the 50, it's Watson. He'll drop this off to Peyton. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. In motion goes the tight end. From the 45 on 2nd down. Watson. On3tunsun. And they will have a 1st down as they are definitely in field goal range now down at the 20-yard line. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. From the red zone now, Watson. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
This defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Watson just beating the play clock. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Watson on 3rd down. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Calvin Ridley, as the first half is winding down. And the Jaguars have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. Now the try here for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. Final play of the half. Prescott slings this deep from McLaurin. And Prescott his 3rd.
How did he get all the way behind him? That's the real question.
With a pick.
How does he?
And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. So it's on to halftime of this AFC divisional round matchup as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Win or go home, that's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC divisional round. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they've been the better of the two teams through 2 quarters of play, much to the chagrin of this home crowd.
Yeah, this score is a surprise to a lot of folks at home, although not to my dad. He predicted the visitors would win. And maybe to the folks in the stadium. But you know who is not a surprise to, partner? This team with the football. They were very confident coming in.
This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
On first down, Watson being chased out left. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On the give, here comes Peyton. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
From the gun, here's Watson. And this one is incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
And the Jaguars send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Fielded at about the 28. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to pull your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Prescott off play action. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. That one good for 37 yards.
When teams practice their plays during the week, they're hoping that it's going to pay off on game day. So it sure has to feel good for them when they hit them during a game, and they hit that one there for big yardage.
They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he's going to pull his way down to about the 1-yard line. Call it a gain of 9 there, and it puts him in better shape here for 2nd and goal. That's what they wanted out of that first down play. Run it down there. Now they're knocking on the door.
The only thing that would have been better was getting it in. And now they can do whatever they want because they've got confidence on their side. Line up quickly and go, or savor it a little bit, but I run right back at them.
And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. Christian McCaffrey with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chiefs have retaken a 3rd quarter lead.
The Apparently the week off hasn't hurt him one bit. 1,000-yard rush in the regular season. Got his first touchdown here in the playoffs. Perhaps the week off energized him.
A great article in the paper this morning basically saying that they would not have won the division without him. And he's not their only piece, but I think that's a fair statement.
It's easy to say it this way. He's their main guy.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead is now 14-10. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. The last series form a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10.
Flip the play, and the other guy don't even go where he's supposed to go.
Now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. On 2nd and a couple. Watson buying time to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Now again, it's Peyton, and he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
I think I saw a lot of shoulders just drop there, and what I mean by that is they finally were able to relax a little bit because that was an important play call. They needed to pick up that first down at this stage of the game.
Yeah, couldn't afford another quick drive and out. Now a first down throw, Watson. He finds his man, complete.
Oh, he's going to dive in place. Listen.
Touchdown, Jaguars. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was, and if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
Extra point safely through, and it's now 17-14. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as these guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again. But we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime. If you're a good football team, you spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes.
And they just made me stand still for the tackle. Oh, fucking game.
Series to series,
still has the best chance of the rest of the goddamn game. They won't make me stand still for any fucking time.
Those adjustments are enough defensively.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Third and long for Prescott. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up. Here's the Chiefs punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He'll send this one into the Midwestern air, and it's a good one.
There we go.
Out, fumble near midfield. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
I remember sitting in special teams meetings, and at some point during the meeting, the coach would always say, you better treat this one just like you're playing offense or defense. It's a big part of the game. And we just saw evidence of why right there with that fumble.
Yeah, fumble on the punt, and after it was turning up to be a pretty decent return.
Yeah, a really nice return. They were going to be set up okay, and the offense would feel good running onto the field. And now the defense has to try it out there and try and slow them down.
Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
Second down and right back to McCaffrey. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
They'll try to throw down. Prescott. And that will be incomplete.
Hits, man. Come on.
Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
They'd love to get a little closer if they need to kick the field goal on 4th down. From this spot, it's 46 yards. On 3rd down, it's Prescott.
What the fuck is
that? Will be incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. From the left hash, this from 46. Sanders' kick is good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. So with less than a minute gone by here in this 4th quarter, the field goal there gets this thing back to even.
And it's setting up for a fantastic finish, isn't it, partner? It's been a well-played game, a hard-hitting game. The fans are into it. The announcers are into it. This is going to be a great 4th quarter.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we...
None of that shit, God. Damn.
At the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And as a fan of the NFL, not much more you could hope for in this divisional round matchup. Tie game, 4th quarter. A lot of these fans with their hearts in their throats waiting to see what happens here. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
typically we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Watson. He's going to wind up and air it out. He's got it at the 15. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line. Hard to believe that arm strength was a knock on Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson, but he showed what he's got there.
And from where we sit, if you had told me that ball was somehow going to get from point A to point B, I would have told you no way. I mean, that was an absolute cannon shot, and he still dropped it right on the money, too.
On first down, it's Watson. And he wisely will throw that one away.
But sometimes an incompletion is the right play. And he showed that he's learned from his earlier interception on that throw. Instead of forcing it, he just tossed it away.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down. Throwing again is Watson. And he's got his big wide receiver complete. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
And his kick is good. And with that, they take the lead here, 20-17. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And this certainly a key moment in this game, trailing by 3, 4th quarter with a spot in the championship game next weekend on the line. On 1st and 10, Prescott. He's got a man complete. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. McCaffrey on the counter. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Give him maybe a yard, quite the opposite from the previous big gainer.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because usually 5 on 3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Oh, shit. Why this?
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They face a critical third down now, needing a score here in the late going. Now Prescott. Got this complete to the tight end.
I did not mean to throw it to
He's
him.
able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it'll be fourth down.
I was wide open back there. God damn, I panicked.
So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Sanders.
Fucking panic. That was a touchdown.
Tied here in the final stages. So a big kick to get this back to even. Yet now the worry is, did you leave too much time on the clock? Is another field goal the other way? That does you in.
You're exactly right. You didn't get it to overtime yet. So now as a defense, you've got to think to yourself, you can't play prevent defense and just give up big chunks of yardage in front of you. But you also can't let anyone behind you. So you sit right on the line between the two. Play the best defense you can. Make it easy for him to move the ball downfield.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Watson. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long after that sack. What does Watson have in his arsenal? Now Watson. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Owens. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. And the Jaguars send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. That's taken on the 25. 43 yards on the punt, a return of 4.
No,
and that will come the offense as they take over. KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. Well, partner, here it is. They've got the chance to win the game. You'd have to think they need to get it near the opposite 40 to have it. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Past the 20. And that's a touchdown as they've broken our tie here in the final minute of the fourth. Go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That third one, That's the most spectacular run he's had in the ball game. It's almost as if he's been playing his own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and they will take a 7-point lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
That's some bullshit.
Well, you don't see that often. He just missed it, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, I know sitting up here, and I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and I know we're both thinking the same thing. Isn't it easy enough to keep it between the sidelines? Because unless you're intentionally doing it for some reason, well, that's a costly miss hit, and now you put your team in a bad spot.
Watson. And it's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker. Picked off by Grant Delpit, and the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football. Well, you can see what they were trying to do, just send those guys out there to make a play, but that is a costly interception.
Yeah, that's kind of like the backyard. Everybody go deep, and let's see if we can find someone. 4 verticals in the route. Any other time in the game, I love the call. But here, you're not going to hold safeties, you're not going to hold corners with any looks because they know what the situation is, ends up throwing the interception.
Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. McCaffrey running up the middle. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line. And that is not near enough. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout. So as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And on 4th down, they come up and take the knee. So they stay alive in the NFL playoffs, move on to the conference championship. And do you think that the printing press is starting to get those T-shirts and hats ready, my friend?
They have to, Brandon. They have to be ready because if you win, you've got to hand those out on the field right away. And just think about the pressure for the players now. Families are going to be talking about tickets to the Super Bowl even before you play the conference championship game.